Hey and welcome back to Vita vs 3DS. Here we have our massively overdue review of Super Mario 3D Land. Like with all my reviews, the graphics, sound, and gameplay will be reviewed, and then my overall score, which is not an average, will be given at the end of the review, which reflects my overall opinion of the game. Super Mario 3D Land is one of the most colorful and lively games on the system. Every single stage is colorful, vibrant, and full of life. All of the animations, from Mario's to all of his enemies, are extremely well done and help bring the world to life. This game never hiccups once throughout the entire experience, which today is a much appreciated rarity in gaming. The best part of the visuals, which I unfortunately cannot show off in this review, is the 3D effect. The game often takes this overhead perspective, and it's neat seeing the 3D effect react when Mario is jumping towards the screen. If there is definitely one genre which benefits from having a 3D effect, it's a 3D platformer, and this game shows it off in a big way. The only notable downsides to the visuals are the lack of good anti-aliasing and the fact that the game doesn't look as good as some of the console 3D Mario games, but it's still a very beautiful game in its own right. Overall, the graphics get an 8.5 out of 10. The sound is another strong suit for the game. Unlike New Super Mario Bros. 2, I found the music in this game to be rather catchy and varied. Sure, some of the songs repeat throughout the game, but this didn't really annoy me as much since they were good in the first place. The sound effects, like in all Mario games, are spot on. Everything is as it should be, down to the sound of the Tanuki tail gliding to that classic Goomba stomp sound. The game could have probably used a few more tracks to use in the special worlds to make those levels feel more unique, but it really isn't that much of a big deal because, as I said before, the music was great in the first place. The overall score for the sound is an 8 out of 10. The mechanics of Super Mario 3D Land really are 3D platforming perfection. Everything about this game just feels perfect and polished. The pickup as Mario runs, the perfectly weighted jumping, the exact right airtime you get after you jump on an enemy, things like that. It's also super comfortable to play since it uses the circle pad instead of the D-pad, which was the preferred method of control for New Super Mario Bros. 2. Despite it being a 3D platformer, I at no point felt that I needed a second stick to control the camera. The fixed camera is always in a perfect spot for me to see exactly what I need to see, which is great. The game also doesn't overuse gimmicks. The touchscreen is literally only used to store and use power-ups, which is all we needed to do anyway. Motion controls are used to aim some of the cannons to launch Mario in the game, but they're optional, and you don't have to use them if you don't want to. The levels are not only varied aesthetically, they also greatly vary in design, pacing, and gameplay. Every level feels wildly different from the last. I've heard some people complain that because the levels are so varied in each world, it's lacking a theme for each world that sets it apart from the other worlds. While this is true, I'd rather have each level feeling different as opposed to playing 6 levels that feel the same then moving on to the next world. One very important gameplay-related plus is the 3D effect. This game is truly the first and only game to use 3D as part of its gameplay. There are a few puzzles in the game which you cannot properly solve without having a 3D slider on, and it really is criminal that I cannot properly show you this effect in this video. The game is rather easy and isn't terribly long, but there is a decent endgame there to it. After finishing the game, you unlock Luigi as a playable character, though he really is only a reskinned Mario with a different voice. However, you also unlock special stages, which are for the most part remixed versions of the regular stages, with a few original stages thrown in here and there. These stages are substantially harder and tack on another 3 to 4 hours onto the main game. After you've finished all 42 regular levels and all 42 special levels, you can then go back and try to collect all the secret coins in each of these levels. I really didn't think that it would be as much fun as it is. There's just something satisfying about taking your time through a level and exploring the 3D landscape and trying to figure out where they're hidden. In New Super Mario Bros. 2, they weren't hidden that well, and the challenge was in your execution to get them. I far prefer this setup of having them slightly harder to find but easier to pick up once you do find them. There is no multiplayer for this game, but I personally don't think it would have added that much. The Street Pass feature makes up for the lack of leaderboards in the sense that pretty much everyone you pass who has the game has played these levels, so there's no shortage of times you'll find to beat when you take your 3DS with you often. The only real downside I can think of in terms of gameplay is the scope. I wish the game was longer. I wish the game was larger. I wish the levels were more expansive. But given that this game is on a portable, I do understand Nintendo's decision to keep the scope smaller. The gameplay of Super Mario 3D Land is platforming at its best, and while $40 is perhaps a little steep given how short the game is, I had an excellent time with it, which is why the gameplay gets a 9.5 out of 10. Once I completed Super Mario 3D Land and sat it down, I realized that 3D platformers on a handheld now have a new benchmark. Every single 3D platformer that I will play from this point on will now have to be judged against this game, since it really is an absolutely fantastic package. It may not be Resident Evil Revelations in the graphics department, but its visuals are great. It may not have the awesome soundtrack of Kid Icarus Uprising, but its music is still very good. But I have not played a 3D platformer in recent years which is as solid as this game in the gameplay department. If this game were a little more expansive and larger, it would have gotten the first perfect score I've ever given a game. But as of right now, this game still gets the highest score I've ever given a game on this channel, 9.5 out of 10.